In eastern Peking, we ran into trouble today while ignoring the martial law decree banning foreign television coverage of the unrest. The point is, all media coverage here is theoretically illegal. We were filming civilians beside a burned-out tank. Suddenly, we were attacked by half a dozen policemen. Each of them had a loaded cocked pistol. First, they smashed half our equipment. Then they forced us at gunpoint to kneel in the road and threatened us and cursed us for 2 tense minutes. Then we were frog-marched to a nearby office with our hands in the air. I was kicked and cuffed. After 30 minutes, they confiscated our film and all our equipment and hustled us out of the complex. Hour after hour, state television is putting out images purporting to show Tiananmen Square almost devoid of military activity. But that's deception. It is true that a few hardy cyclists ventured through the southern end this morning, but much of the square is now the main base of the martial law forces, who have increased their armoured units. Brian Barron, BBC News, Peking.
Although the unrest is apparently affecting many other cities apart from Peking, in the rural areas outside the capital, there are evidently few signs of the crisis. Kate Adey has been out to see what's happening beyond Peking.
In the countryside, well outside of the city, the scene looks normal enough, but everywhere we stopped there was talk of the events in Peking. The narrow roads are crowded with people heading for market. Supplies of fruit and vegetables are plentiful, and they're getting through to the city's markets. There's meat, reasonably priced here, but rising in the city, where we saw lengthy queues. How much of the turmoil of the last week has penetrated the countryside can be judged by the people who clearly knew why we were filming. There are radios tuned locally, which are on display, but there are many more in the little private courtyards, more powerful radios tuned to foreign stations.
It's difficult to assess the spread of information in such a vast country, and some of the remoter provinces may well be relying only on the official media. However, it seems that accurate news is spreading faster than has hitherto been thought possible in China.
For a start, thousands of students have headed out of the capital, carrying their eyewitness reports with them. Peking has a score of universities. Many of the students have fled back home. The railway network bears evidence of a huge exodus, not only of students. The trains out are jammed to the luggage racks. The trains into Peking have only a few passengers, a situation virtually unknown in this country. And while we filmed in a village, watched, we by then realized, by plainclothes police, people wanted to explain how much they knew.
The people here were very nervous.
The people in this village were nervous?
Yes, but they know some real facts from the Tiananmen Square, so they were afraid of the army.
Do they know that people have died in Beijing?
Yes. Some of our colleagues has always talked about the fact that happened in Tiananmen Square and the Chang'an Street. And I also see some dead body from the Liubukou hospital near the Liubukou Fuxing Hospital. Oh, that morning, I see 41 body lying in the ground, on the ground.
Do people here, outside of Peking, do they know what has happened in Beijing?
Perhaps they all know what happened in Beijing.
How do they feel at the moment? Are they frightened?
Yes, they are frightened. And also, the news from the CCTV are not true. We all think they are pale lie.
The local people were friendly, but they're intimidated. Our Chinese driver had just wriggled and fought his way out of arrest by the secret police. We fled the village. And we came back to a city where the population is trying to pick up the threads of normal life, inundated with thousands of troops and greatly fearful. Kate Adey, BBC News, Peking.